All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're doing a rapid, high-stakes explainer on Cloud Computing Module 3. We are going to lock down the exact definitions, the specific keywords, and the critical diagrams you need to totally crush those 5, 6, 8, and 10-mark VTU exam questions. So, let's get focused. Here is our game plan for today. We'll cover the cloud reference model, architecture components, cloud service models, middleware, and Eucalyptus, hit those vital comparison tables, and wrap up with a final rapid revision. Okay, Section 1, the cloud reference model, covering layered architecture and XAS. Listen up, because this is an important exam question. Being able to accurately describe the cloud reference model, complete with a beautifully neat diagram, is an absolute, guaranteed 10-mark question. You literally cannot skip this.
Now, when you're sitting in the exam hall drawing this architecture out, it is absolutely crucial that you build it bottom up. You start from the physical hardware at the very base and stack it all the way up to the applications. Let's break those layers down step by step so it sticks. First, you've got the system infrastructure layer. That forms the physical foundation, your literal data centers and servers. Second, the core middleware layer sits on top of that, managing the hardware using virtualization. Third, cloud hosting platforms combine those to offer IaaS. Fourth, user-level middleware provides your PaaS development platforms. Fifth, the cloud applications layer delivers SaaS directly to the users. And running vertically alongside all of this is the adaptive management layer, which handles automatic scaling and autonomic cloud behavior. Together, this entire stack supports XaaS, everything as a service. Moving right along to Section 2, Cloud Architecture Components. These are the essential elements. So, the really cool thing here is how perfectly these 5 components map straight to the reference model you just memorized. The system infrastructure gives you the physical hardware, but it's the core middleware that steps in, using hypervisors, to create virtual machines. This is what enables the hosting platforms to deliver IaaS, the programming environment to deliver PaaS, and ultimately the applications to deliver SaaS. It's all connected.
All right, Section 3, Cloud Service Models. We're talking IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS.
Let's start from the bottom with Infrastructure as a Service, or IaaS. Think of IaaS as renting raw land and foundations. It delivers customizable computing infrastructure, stuff like virtual machines, storage, and networks, totally on demand. The key here is that the user retains full, absolute control over configuring the CPU, the memory, and the operating systems.
Now, when you're tackling a 6-mark IaaS question, specific keywords are your absolute best friend. You must drop terms like workload partitioning and on-demand resource provisioning. That proves to the examiner that you understand exactly how hypervisors isolate these environments to drastically reduce capital costs.
Moving up the stack, we hit Platform as a Service, or PaaS. If IaaS is raw land, PaaS is like renting a fully equipped workshop. It provides developers with a complete runtime environment, programming APIs, and libraries. The developers just get to focus entirely on writing their application code, while the cloud provider handles all the underlying server and infrastructure maintenance behind the scenes. Got an 8-mark question on PaaS? You've got to hit them with advantages like automatic scalability and simplified application development. And to really secure those points, ground your answer by name-dropping real-world examples like Google App Engine, Microsoft Azure, or Manjussoft and Eka. Examiners eat that up. And finally, at the top, we reach Software as a Service, or SaaS. SaaS is essentially like moving into a fully furnished, meticulously maintained apartment. You don't have to build or manage a thing. You just log in through a web browser and start using the software. Zero local installation required. For a 6-mark SaaS question, the absolute magic keyword is multi-tenancy. Make sure you write that down. Multi-tenancy simply means a single application serves multiple users, sharing resources securely. Anchor your definition with everyday practical scenarios, like using Salesforce for customer relationship management or Google Docs for office tasks.
Okay, Section 4, Middleware and the Eucalyptus Cloud. This is the management layer.
So, cloud middleware is basically the hidden software bridge between the physical hardware and the applications running on top. If you get a 6-mark question on this, list its core functions: resource management, virtualization support, application isolation, often called sandboxing, quality of service or QoS negotiation, and of course, accounting and billing.
This brings us to an important exam question. Examiners love Eucalyptus. It's a perfect real-world application of this management layer. It's an infrastructure as a service management platform. To lock in your 6 marks, use this exact scenario. Imagine a university department installing Eucalyptus on its existing computer cluster to create a private cloud. This provides students with on-demand virtual machines, entirely eliminating the need for the university to buy dedicated hardware for every single student.
Section 5. High-scoring comparison tables. This is where you secure those big analytical marks.
Get ready to take some mental screenshots because this is another important exam question. Scenario-based comparison questions are incredibly common, and they often carry a massive 10 marks. The absolute cleanest, most effective way to answer these is by using a structured table format.
Let's pit IaaS against PaaS. If the exam scenario involves a startup that needs highly flexible infrastructure with full OS control, the answer is always IaaS. But if that company instead needs a rapid application development environment and doesn't want to touch infrastructure maintenance, then PaaS is your solution.
Now, what if the question asked you to compare IaaS with SaaS? Frame your table entirely around control and installation. IaaS is for your IT admins who need complete virtual control, where they personally install and configure the operating systems. SaaS, on the flip side, is for end users or business teams who just want a working, ready-to-use application. No installation, just open a browser and go.
And finally, comparing PaaS and SaaS. This one comes down entirely to the user profile and the tools provided. In your table, explicitly state that the target users for PaaS are software developers who desperately need APIs and libraries for high customization. The target users for SaaS? They're end users who need zero development tools, just immediate utility on a monthly subscription basis.
All right, Section 6, our final rapid revision. Let's do some high-yield keyword recall.
Let's lock this into your short-term memory before you walk into that exam hall. Remember these high-yield keywords: XaaS, multi-tenancy, sandboxing, QoS, and Eucalyptus. If you can clearly visualize that layered architecture diagram from memory, you are absolutely ready to ace this module. But hey, looking beyond the exam for a second, ask yourself this: as XaaS continues to evolve and take over, will we eventually reach a future where local hardware completely ceases to exist? Something to chew on. Keep studying hard, and I'll see you in the next explainer.